Oberon Citizen Science Network presents some interesting things. Oberon Citizen Science Network is a non-profit association of Oberon residents interested in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. This video highlights some of the interesting things we've been doing since our formation in mid-2024. The rivers around Oberon are historically famous as platypus habitat. However, relatively few people have seen these unique and near-threatened animals in local rivers, mainly because their activity is almost entirely nocturnal in our region. Very little is known about platypus presence in the headwaters of rivers around Oberon. To address this knowledge gap, OCSN has developed specialized do-it-yourself video cameras which use invisible infrared light to film waterways throughout the night, looking for platypus and ricali. Here is the interior of one of our video cameras. It's definitely do-it-yourself. Here's one of our cameras mounted on the Duckmolloy River. And we use an iPad to see what the camera is seeing to make sure that we're capturing the scene correctly. Here's another one of our cameras deployed on the headwaters of Long Arm Creek, deep within Vulcan State Forest, about 200 meters from proposed wind turbine locations. And all of these videos were shot in the area indicated by the orange circle. The little green dots are proposed wind turbine locations. First, we see a platypus swimming upstream on the upper Duckmolloy River a few days after Christmas 2024. Despite appearances, it's actually pitch black and the scene is illuminated only by infrared light. And a few minutes later, a second platypus swims upstream. Next, we see two platypus and a ricali heading upstream, also on the upper Duckmolloy River, close to the headwaters of the river inside the Vulcan State Forest. Here we're at the junction of the Duckmolloy River and Yellowbelly Creek, near the northern end of Vulcan State Forest, in which both of these waterways have their origins. First we see two ricali pass each other on the Duckmolloy, then a platypus heads up the Yellowbelly Creek towards Vulcan State Forest. A bit later we see the same or another platypus return from the creek and head downstream. In this next segment, we see a platypus feeding in Yellowbelly Creek, about 100 meters from the northern border of Vulcan State Forest. And next we see a platypus surfing through a culvert constructed by Oberon Council under a road which crosses the upper Duckmolloy River. It looks like fun. In case you missed it, instant replay. Here is a platypus heading upstream through a culvert under a forest road inside Vulcan State Forest. Later we see a ricali comes back the other way. The creek here is full of galaxid native freshwater fish, which are possibly protected from predation by introduced trout by the many small waterfalls between this location and the Duckmalloy River. Here, a cute little Antechinus, a mouse-sized native marsupial, is crossing the headwaters of Yellow Belly Creek deep inside Vulcan State Forest, followed by another one just a bit further downstream. Next we see more platypus, 2 or 3, feeding in a section of Yellow Belly Creek inside Vulcan State Forest, adjacent to the Pines Wind Farm exploration area. Oberon Citizen Science Network is also experimenting with thermal cameras to detect platypus and ricali in waterways. These cameras sense long-wave infrared radiation and work in complete darkness without any artificial infrared illumination required. Here we see a platypus swim past a thermal camera on the upper Duckmalloy River. OCSN will be continuing its survey of platypus and ricali in the headwaters of the rivers south of Oberon throughout spring and summer and into autumn 2026. OCSN also undertakes a range of other activities, including operating automated bird call recognition stations and a network of seismic monitors which can detect tiny local earthquakes as well as larger seismic events around the world. Did you know that there was a minor earthquake in early March 2025, either at Black Springs or Jenolan Caves? We need a volunteer to host a third seismic and infrared sound detector so we can more accurately locate such events. And here you can see the possible location of the earthquake at Black Springs, and the 2 dots on the map indicate our 2 existing seismic monitors. And here's the alternate location of that event. The 2 dots are the 2 monitors, and you can see this localizes it to around Jenolan Caves. We can even localize large lightning strikes. Here's one just a few days ago at the intersection of Titania and Edith Roads, south of Oberon, detected on both our infrasound and seismic sensors. To conclude this video, here's a time-lapse from a very cold June night in 2025 in Chatham Valley, south of Oberon, where the OCSN all-sky camera is located. This captures continuous views of almost the entire sky. Anyone can access it via the OCSN website. And here's the camera sitting on a fence post in Chatham Valley, south of Oberon. If you'd like more information about our activities, or if you would like to become a member of Oberon Citizen Science Network and participate in our various projects, or if you'd like to financially support our work, please visit our website at the URL indicated on the screen.